That's quickly changing for both crypto and Bitcoin. We thought that Bitcoin would play the same role in new markets as stablecoins. The rules and regulations are very important here. When Gensler was in charge of the SEC, the rules were very unfriendly. Now the rules are very friendly. That's a bet on Bitcoin with MicroStrategy. That is, without a doubt, the best thing about the room. But I believe the much more important thing is that it's the way for institutions to get into digital assets right now. There is a new type of product. I believe it is safe to say that our bull case is worth a lot more than 1,000,000 rubles. Listen, I would love it if Cathie Wood was right and Bitcoin did reach $1,000,000. If that happens, XRP will easily go up to $100 or more per coin because so much money will be flooding into the markets at that time. That is to say, XRP has done amazingly well over the last 8 months. Especially in December and January, it was a great time. Our name for this time of year, the super cycle, is great. Also, yes, there will be general elections here soon. There are rate cuts that might happen here. When it comes to coins other than Bitcoin like XRP, business interest is growing a lot faster over here. And right now is a really exciting time. Because of this, Cathie Wood is going to explain what's going on and why I think XRP users should definitely get ready for what's coming. This is one of those chances you'll probably regret missing for the rest of your life. That's at least what I think. So that's what we're going to talk about in depth today. Press the like button so that everyone in the XRP army can see this movie. Let's start. I'm shocked at how quickly steady coins are becoming popular. To see what changes we'd make to that $1.5 million prediction, look at the table in Big Ideas 2025 that shows how we yield the bull case. We might take a little from the part of that stack that's for developing markets. But I believe the much more important thing is that it's the way for institutions to get into digital assets right now. There is a new type of product. The two biggest ones are that and the really replacement for gold as a store of value, which is another use case. We haven't changed our minds about either of them. I think it's safe to say that our bull case is more than 1,000,000. In 5 years, they made more than $1,000,000. As we've already said, we mostly work with public markets. And because of the way Bitcoin and Ether work together, we do have private funds that have a lot of Solana compared to ETH until lately. And it was a smart move for us to make because Ether was getting ahead of Solana. Those are the three most important ones for us. We also keep an eye on layer 2s. As we try to teach our main clients, we'll try to go into more detail about the big three in a way that financial experts and investors can understand. For example, we'll look at returns compared to risk, figure out the Sharpe and Sortino ratios, and so on. The other thing we're going to do is the same thing we did with Bitcoin, Ether, Solana, and the longer tail. So this looks at the chain and decides what to do with it. You can use these systems for things like analytics and signaling that you can't do with stocks or bonds because they aren't as transparent as blockchain technology. We will add ETH, Solana, and other cryptocurrencies as time goes on and as they become more interesting, especially to big buyers. With Robinhood, I learned a lot about crypto. Of course, they're going full speed now. I think they're going to win a lot. If you saw their analyst day and the launch of some of their crypto products, why aren't MicroStrategies in the top 3? No, Bika. I already said that with the micro approach, that is a Bitcoin bet. That's clearly the most valuable thing in the room. We are sure that Bitcoin plays a big role in Coinbase since other currents. It's been a while since we said that the country was in a rolling recession. When the Federal Reserve raised interest rates 20 or 22 times in a little over a year, one industry after another started to fail. We'll have to deal with this for a while. So I think we've been saying that we think things are better now that there is more confidence about tariffs, tax policy, government spending, and whether rules should be relaxed or not, that this rolling recession is about to end and a much stronger rebound is about to begin. There will be no doubt about it in about 6 to 9 months. That is, if rates of interest don't go down, then how low inflation will get at the end of this year will be a big surprise. Now, I would love nothing more than for Cathie Wood to explain why she thinks inflation is going to go down, especially since I just talked about the latest PPI inflation figures. Better than expected, right? We are seeing record amounts of tariff revenue. There may be enough tariff revenue coming in right now to get rid of the corporate income tax in the United States completely. Really think about that. The business income tax and tariffs are still in place, though, which is why inflation is still very high. Of course, there is still a lot of demand from consumers and a lot of money being spent by the government. One more very important thing, of course, cutting interest rates would help with government spending, at least a little. That's because interest payments and debts, like Social Security and many others, make up the biggest part of their budget. That's why we'd love to see it, because there is less government debt, less interest-bearing debt, and a better money picture. it is easier for XRP to get the cash it needs to really take off. I do believe that inflation will go through the roof if Trump gets what he wants very soon, but I'm not upset about that at all because it means that a lot of people will invest in XRP, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Solana. To be honest, I'm beginning to believe that the US dollar, the Canadian dollar, the Australian dollar, and the euro need to go through some terrible events before people understand that cryptocurrency is the answer. It needs to be unchangeable, not something that can be made out of thin air, and it needs to be able to store a lot of value. In fact, that's what cryptocurrency is. And I don't think people will really understand this until these fake currencies suffer a terrible loss. So, yeah, I'm sorry to say that I think inflation is probably the better option here. Crypto will go up, we'll all be happy, and everyone else will finally realize that their money is worthless and they need something better. That being said, I love saying that word a lot. Cathie's going to tell us some other things that I think are at least worth thinking about. I don't agree with Cathie Wood all the time. In the next 5 years, I don't think Bitcoin will be worth $1 million. While I don't agree with her completely, she does bring up some other interesting points that I'd like to share with you. I think all three parts of the government will back us, which is a big change. This is the next big thing, and it will make the financial services industry a lot more efficient. The stablecoin trend is more or less a way for people to get started with decentralized financial services. There are treasury assets that back all of them, which means that they are backed by the dollar. We believe that progress is picking up speed here, especially right now. BTC was based on rules, 21 million units, and we're almost there with 20 million. Because of this, Bitcoin will continue to be supported by its value of rarity. This was another time we went through. Bitcoin went from less than $1,000 to $20,000 in 2017. That was the ICO boom, and most of the ones that happened didn't work out. So be careful what you buy. Watch out. Because of this, we need some rule. Anyway, Bitcoin is a whole different thing, not at all the same. Yes, I really do think it makes sense for Cathie Wood and other people to be very interested in Bitcoin. Everyone is concentrating on the first one, but I want you to think about what I'm about to say for a moment. While the dot-com bubble was going crazy, people were talking about the biggest internet companies with the biggest market caps. Those were the companies that failed because people didn't look at the basics of what made a business great. They forgot about that for a while. Crypto is also not that different. It's a payment based on usefulness. This means that the more useful something is, the more time it saves. That's all you need to remember. You need to zero in on the very best product that is currently servicing and solving problems, then give that job your full attention. That's XRP for me. That's HBR for me. That is CASPA for me. To me, these goals are so important because they're being reached in a variety of ways. But I don't believe that Bitcoin can really do many of those things. I also mine Bitcoin, and I want each coin to be worth $1 million. Do not misunderstand. That would be great for me. I want to be honest with you, though. I don't think Bitcoin will be the best way to keep value in 100 years. I do think that people will get over that idea and concentrate on things that really help people. Bitcoin, no matter how much people want to think it helps people, BTC was just a beta test coin. It was the first one, and the point was to show that crypto is a real system that works. It will be remembered in history like Roman coins or something, but it won't be around forever. It will finally be a great relic from the past that showed us that cryptocurrency was the way to go. But that's not the cryptocurrency that will solve all of our problems in the future. Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, we can all protect our own bets and make our own bets. Long term, I'm betting on Bitcoin, or I should say XRP. I think HBR and Casper will do well in the long run. Those are a few. To give you an idea of what I do and the deals I make, we just finished a couple of great trades for the community that made them over 10% in a very short time. We opened a new one. I think we might be up 20% on that. In Crypto Crusaders, you can get to those trades, for I'd love to see you all there. If not, that's fine. Thank you very much. Nothing I say is financial advice. I love all of you. Thanks for seeing it. Have a nice trip. Peace.